On his debut, Jarno Uppbeat wins at Spa.
It's Martinez in Montreal. David beats Goliath.
It's a true underdog story. John Evans wins at Mexico.
And it's Super Sam Corby who takes the PlayStation Championship.
FRA Ronhard takes his first WOR Championship. He is your Xbox champion.
And Jake Benham is a two-time WOR champion.
Stop it! Around the outside operated line shadow is contact again. Ronhard is around.
Melanie, surely is going to win here at Abu Dhabi. He does.
15 races across 5 continents. From Brazil to Belgium and Bahrain to Britain. Soon this story starts. Across 3 platforms, hundreds will begin the quest. The quest in search of glory and the right to be called a WOR champion. Lights out, and we're racing in Season 12.
Hello everybody and welcome along to the championship finale for PC Tier 2. This is World Online Racing League, and what a better place to do it at Interlagos for the Brazilian Grand Prix, a track where we saw Isaac Glock moment happen in 2008, and back in 2007 we saw Kimi Räikkönen take his first Formula 1 World Championship. Who will be the person to join JST and become a PC Tier 2 champion? My name is Jess Ball, and joining me in the commentary box for tonight, as Luke is filling in for Tier 1 tonight, we've got Xbox Tier 1 commentator Joshua Davis, also known as Jish. How are you doing tonight?
Hey Jess, yeah, welcome everyone to the season finale in Tier 2. Yeah, it should be a very, very interesting agenda tonight. Obviously, we are in the final round with a battle on our hands between the 2 McLarens, Jake Dempsey and Morgan Ball, with Drake leading the championship by 22 points. So Morgan has to win this race and hope Drake is 9th or lower. If Drake gets 8th, then that is it no matter what. Drake is your PC Tier 2 champion, and what a way it would go out for him. What a championship, what a season he's had as Drake Dempsey. So has Morgan Ball. He's been absolutely fantastic as well for the times I've covered it and also throughout the season. So it should be a very, very tasty one. And it is the 2 McLarens going head to toe, and I'm sure there won't be any team orders going from there tonight.
Hopefully not, because we want to see the drivers really start to put on some very, very good fights for this championship, because you never know, anything can happen in Tier 2. So Interlagos was built in 1940 but didn't host a Formula 1 race until 1973. It's been located in Sao Paulo for quite a long time. There's been quite a few changes to the layout. It used to be 7.96 kilometres, but due to safety reasons and a few deaths around this circuit, it is now the 4.309 kilometre track that we know today, which has been used since 1990. It's remained a constant calendar presence since then and has produced many, many memorable moments as well. So without further ado, we are going to be going straight on to the racetrack, because we know we've got some great cars out on the track. We got 15 drivers, which is, I believe, more than we had last week, which is great to see. And some of you may have noticed that we didn't talk about Lenny Bapinta. Lenny Bapinta would have been in this title fight, but he decided to race in Tier 1 tonight, which is fair enough. If you want to think the long term, and that's what he's thought about, then he's not bothered about the championship, and obviously that's to the team of McLaren drivers. Obviously they won the Constructors McLaren a few weeks ago, so it is gloves off, to be honest, at the moment. It's quite sunny here in Interlagos, so it'll be interesting to see what happens. And we've got the first time on the board of Tripkov with a 1:11.6. Well, obviously we'll see faster lap times than that as they just get their banker lap times in. So Josh, what can you expect about this circuit?
So yeah, it's a very interesting one. Interlagos is very, very twisty, but it is quite easy going on the tyre where obviously you can get away with 2 runs in qualifying on the soft compound tyre, so that's always a nice feeling for a lot of the drivers, just to make sure if you do mess up that one lap, then you can get another one, as championship antagonist Morgan Ball sets in to a 6.6. That's probably more like it, to say the least, and that is a fantastic banker from the McLaren driver. Brilliant to see. There's his teammates, Drake Dempsey on the medium, 7.464 on the medium compound tyres. Not bad either to start things off, and it is the other McLaren of Morgan Ball setting things off as well. But yeah, it's a very, very interesting one. A few overtaking opportunities round into Decino del Lago if you're brave enough. Again at Junchao, obviously we saw that is that Glock moment which happened as Fritzen now puts it into pole position, 5.95. That's a brilliant lap time from the Red Bull mechanic, as Yanni Tritkov puts it into P3, 6.869 on his 11 moment there, which is also a pretty decent time as well. Jay Virage is also coming through Sector 2 as well on the Alpine, looking pretty decent on his return as well. But yeah, fairly easy going on the tyre where Silverstone.
We were Silverstone last
Brazil.
week, Josh.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, Brazil this week. Yeah, fairly easy on the tyre wear. A few overtaking opportunities if you're brave enough. But yeah, it's an outstanding racetrack and definitely one of my favourites to commentate over.
Definitely, and it's one of my favourites to race as well, because even if you have a dull race, you're still going to be involved in some battles no matter where you are on the field as well. It's just amazing, and you could go on side-by-side battles, wheel-to-wheel battle for pretty much almost the entire lap if you wanted to, if you are brave enough. So we'll try and follow someone on a lap at the moment as well. We've got quite a few people in the battle for 5th place in the championship. Obviously we've got Jonah Martins in that battle as well. Bogan is in that battle for 5th place, so interesting to see how they do tonight. But let's go on board with Mark, how he takes you on the hot lap around this beautiful Interlagos circuit. Turn 1, go to the inside as you can, then stick it to the right as you go through the centre. It's very easy to invalidate around this part of the circuit, so expect to see quite a few penalties in the race. Heading towards turn 4 as, Mark has just invalidated his run, so commentators curse for covering hot laps right now. But we got Peso, who's about to cross the line, who has invalidated his run also, so we'll do our hot laps a little bit later on. That's been a bit postponed a little bit as well. So that is most people that just set laps at the moment. Obviously 2 drivers not set representative lap time, so they'll be going on some laps later on. We got Hadif in 15th position, who was unfortunately invalidated. I wonder if Mark will go again, because obviously the median's not too bad on the tyre life at the moment. But and this Van Pookie on the second lap on the soft tyres, 106.5. I didn't want to be going on the softs for 2 laps, but does it strongly suggest there could be changeable conditions or rain on the horizon?
Yeah, there could definitely be so, but obviously 11 minutes left to go in the session, and Pookie, with that lap time and how long he's been on soft compound tyres, maybe thinks he could probably go faster, and the calibre of driver that Pookie is, he can definitely go that little bit quicker. But interesting that he took those 2 laps on there. Obviously you can get away with the 2 runs if you want to. Some people do decide to, but yeah, it's pretty interesting to go for it that early on at the moment. But we'll have to wait and see what he does. Maybe there is rain on the horizon, we never know, but he can definitely get away with it this time around. But obviously thinking he might go quicker, and obviously he's going to have to want that 1 lap shootout just to save the tyres in the race. But obviously we do have a quality restart. I do believe that got cancelled as well, so it's just going to be straight into there. But yeah, it's going to, well, obviously Pookie thinks he's going to have to go a little bit quicker, and maybe thinks he can go quicker.
Yeah, he can, and to be honest, he pushed on that lap as well with the less fuel load as well, but he has pretty much more of a delta to gain to improve as well, because usually you like to go slower on your first lap just so you have something to reach for, because if you know you can find more time on the table, then you can find more time on the table, and you feel very, very proud of yourself, because sometimes on my first run I set a very good lap and then struggled to beat it. So we got Matteo Longe on the lap. Let's see if he could do the Cine de Largo turn 4 a bit better than other people who had invalidated, but no. As I just said that, so another commentator's curse, and Matteo's another driver that's invalidated in Decino del Lago, turn 4. Peso is just going into the pits. I think he's backed off on his run, and 3 people not setting lap times with 9 minutes to go in, well, 10 minutes to go in the session. It doesn't leave a lot of room to find a lap time, but Is it a track that people could go on the alternate strategy? Is people backing off just a little bit just to get that 11th spot?
Absolutely, there are a few people that may go for the alternate strategy here. Definitely works around Brazil. You can pretty much go with any of them, to be honest. Soft to medium is good. Medium to soft is also good because you've got the tyre life near the end. You can pick quite early on the mediums because the softs can just go that long. So, and again with the same, we qualify in the top 10 on the soft compound tyres, so you can go quite long on there as well. So it's equal. It's kind of equal, to be honest, on the tyre wear and the strategy. But if you do want to try the alternate strategy, then you can definitely do so. But you may struggle for pace near the end, but that may be a risk you want to take if you really want to go for it near the final part of the race. But we'll have to wait and see what happens. Taz is on the mediums as well alongside Mark, so they're going to try and go for the mediums unless they want to go on the softs later on. Matteo Longe not having the best of times at the moment, not set a lap time as yet, keeps invalidating his runs, but he kept it clean through the Cena de Largo and up the hill in towards sector 2. Third gear action as you hit in towards the curves, up to 4th for the traction, down to 3rd once again, up into 4th, short shifting all the way on towards the curves then, and in towards that right-hander, staying really tight to the curves. A little bit of a moment on the entries. Drake Dempsey puts it on pole position. The championship leader setting his mark here in qualifying. And what a lap that is, 6.366. What can Matteo Longe do in the other Alfa Romeo? DRS wide open for the Frenchman as he comes towards the final corner, on towards the back straight. Matteo Longe puts it P3, and that is not bad at all from Matteo Longe.
Yeah, but it is as well. He's been finding some improvement in this tier because he has admitted in previous races that the caliber is quite high for this grid. But to be honest, the higher tier that you're in, the more that you're expected to improve quite a lot too, because people put a lot of pressure on you the higher the tier you go at times. And even when you get to F1 esports, there's a lot more pressure. People expect you to perform to your highest potential every single race, as Jonah Martins almost clipped that curb there as well. He's lost a bit of time. He's gone a bit slidey there as well. So one of his tyres have got a little bit hot as he heads towards, well, he's backed off. He's backed off on his lap. So we'll go on board with someone else on the lap at the moment who's a few 100ths quicker. Jay Verhaar in the Alpine car, looking to end his season on a high with obviously his teammate JST not here tonight. He has got Isvan Pookie, who is a very quick driver, looking to help him out. And Jay only improves his time, not his position though, into P9. And we've got, I think, Matteo Longe going into the pits, I believe. Yes, he is going into the pits. But we do have Bogan, the fight for 5th spot in this championship, or 5th or 6th spot. Comes across the line in at P4, so looking good for him so far. What about his teammate? His teammate's about to start his out laps, looking to go a bit quicker. Sergio, though, however, is still in the pit, so he doesn't want to use his soft runs just yet. He wants to save at least one soft run for the race, because if you use all 3 softs during qualifying, well, you're going to have scrub set for pretty much the entire race, and you don't really want that. So you really want to save at least one for the race if you want to, just in case there is a bit of a safety car period that happens towards the end, which usually happens in Brazil with league racing. I've seen that in many tiers on the Xbox side this week as well, which you can watch back on the WOR YouTube channel as well. This is going to be the last race in PC Tier 2, and if you're wondering why we're not at Spain, well, PC Tier 1 has just had a longer calendar compared to all the other tiers, so their championship finale is next week, but they still could have a championship decider this week. We could have a champion crowned in Tier 1 tonight as well, so we'll see if that's happened. Harlan Marquez, who's done really well in Tier 3 this season, is in P12 at the moment in the Mercedes, and has shown some good performances this season in Tier 2 as well, and he's got a point to prove to show that he might deserve the PC Tier 2 seat full time as he comes across the line to start his next run.
Yep, Harlan Marquez doing quite well in TGC for the Shazoo team, getting up there in the races, which is probably mainly his strongest spot. So he's doing quite well for the esports side of things. He's doing quite well in Tier 3 as well on the league side of things as well, as he's about to start his second flying run. 2.5 tenths, just under 2.5 tenths up in Sector 1. So it's a massive improvement on his personal best is Marquez as he comes towards Sector 2. Now 7.7 is his best time, so he's going to have to find at least 7 and a bit tenths to try and get it up into P11 to beat Hassif at the moment, and maybe even 8 tenths to try and beat Jay Farage in P10 as he makes his way through the right-hander and in towards Jun Shao in a couple of moments time, through towards sector 3, the detection zone. How much is he up is the question, rounding that fast left-hander, and he's a second up at the moment. 6.7 is looking likely for the Mercedes driver, which would put him around P9, maybe even P10 if he can. Here he comes then. Here comes Harlem Marquis in the Mercedes, DRS wide open. What's it going to be for the Mercedes driver? And across the line he comes, puts it P9, not bad at all with a 6.621.
Yeah, it is very close indeed. It's about 3 tenths separating between first and 10th place at the moment, and 4 tenths separating between first and 11th place as well. So a small margin, and that can miss you out on pole position. So pretty much anyone in the top 11 has a very good chance of getting pole. Maybe we could have an upset potentially for pole. That will throw a spanner in the works potentially as well, because usually in a championship fight you have the championship protagonist and a championship rival, and you have your teammates to help you be the wingman, as it were. We don't have this situation here at WRPC Tier 2 because both of those are in the same team, so that's going to be quite interesting. So, but obviously all the other drivers have been told to race their own race, do not interfere with the championship contenders, because we don't want any championships drivers races ruined due to no fault of their own. We want to obviously have a fair fight, and this fight to be remembered for many seasons to come. And who knows, it could go down to the wire. Even though the gap is 22 points between Drake Dempsey and Morgan Bull, you know, Drake Dempsey has had some poor showings this season in a few races where Morgan Bull has delivered. So yeah, you'll have to wait and see. So just like we said, Morgan Bull needs to win, with Drake Dempsey scoring 9th or lower for Morgan Bull to win the title, and Drake Dempsey to finish 8th or better in order to secure the title back to America. Well, to America, because JST was not from America when he was crowned champion last season. So final laps then for most of these guys. Well, quite a few drivers in the pits, obviously the championship contenders, leaving it till last to get their laps in, because they want the best track possible, the most grip, the most track evolution, which is not that surprising. But Jane Tripikoff will be the first person to set a lap on his final set of the soft compounded tyres. Sergio is also on the lap.
Yeah, Sergio is definitely leaving it at the very, very last minute to even get one job done on his
invalidated.
He's left it very, very late. Yeah, and he has invalidated. He does have time to go for one more, with the nature of how fast this track is. Only about 1 minute, 1 minute 6, 1 minute 7 is a good lap around here, so he will have time to go for one more. Yanni Tripkov, however, has kept his lap clean for the time being as he backed off. Yes, he has. I believe he has backed off in that Red Bull, so he's going to try and go again. Shazoo Bogan again invalidating, as Yona Martin's making it fairly clean through the center S's, so he's on a fairly decent lap so far. DRS wide open to head towards the back straight and in towards the scene of the Largo. How much is up is in sector 1, only 4 thousandths down, so it's not been the greatest in sector 1, so he's gone a little bit too wide and invalidated again.
Yes, so he has to abort his lap, doesn't he? But luckily he's got enough ERS. Hopefully he has enough fuel to go again, because if he doesn't, he's pretty much screwed with 1 minute and 30 seconds remaining. But due to the fact that it is a short lap, you can get 2 runs when you go out with 3 minutes to go. So Drake Dempsey's on pole, Fritzen in P2, it's Van Pookie in P3, Morgan Bull is co-sitting in 4th position, but we got quite a lot of people finishing up their first runs. Taz will be the first person to do so, as well as Bogus. We'll keep an eye on those two. Taz up to the line. Can he improve on the 107.9? 106.8, so he's pretty much within that bubble that needed to get pole position. Very, very close indeed. We got the Aston Martin. Obviously, Jonah Martins has invalidated. What about Matteo Longe? He is not invalidated this time. And could this be a good lap? It is a good lap. He ate only 1/10 of pole. That's how close it is. We've got the first of our championship contenders up to the line. Morgan Bull is purple. Drake Dempsey is purple sector 2. Morgan Bull's up to the line. He's purple in the final sector. And overall, he goes fastest. Can Drake Dempsey go any quicker and beat his teammate? Oh, sure he does. 106.224. It couldn't get any tighter than this. I think Drake Dempsey has backed off a little bit. So has Morgan Bull. So the only people that can challenge could be Pesso. Has he backed off? Nope, he's not, but I don't think it could be a quick lap, but we'll have to wait and see. 106.4, that is pretty decent, I can tell you the truth as well. Bogan, is he going on another lap? Yes, he is going on another lap, but he is weaving a little bit to get some heat into those tyres. Can he challenge for pole? Oh, he's splitting the two McLaren drivers, 106.264. And I have to say that is a decent lap from Bogan. Don't forget, he won in Mexico. And he's going to show tonight that he's not a one-win wonder. I don't think anyone else could beat him. It's Jay Bahara. He's on a lap. He's improved a little bit in sector 2. As quite a few drivers are actually going into the pits, actually. So I think it's all on Jay to get out of that 11th spot. But I think he would want the alternate strategy. So don't be surprised to see him back off towards the line. I kind of want to see what lap he would have done anyway. So let's see what he could do up to the line. He's not going to the pit, so he's going to try on this lap. Yeah, he's backed off the line. He's definitely going for that alternate strategy. And he stays in P11. But it is Drake Dempsey on pole. But it is not McLaren 1-2. Bogan splits the two McLarens.
Yeah, that's a mega lap there from Bogan, and even mega a lap, if that's even a word, from Drake Dempsey, 6.224, and the championship leader takes pole position in Brazil. And what a lap that could be for Drake Dempsey to try and get him the world championship, as Morgan Ball in P3 will surely be disappointed that Bogan did beat his time in the end, but definitely will be happy nevertheless that he is in that top 3, and the top 3 separated by less than a tenth of a second. Absolutely fantastic between the two. 39,000 between Bogan and Dempsey, and 84,000 between Morgan Ball and Drake Dempsey as well, which is absolutely incredible to see. But Morgan Ball and Drake Dempsey, absolutely incredible at times from the both of them. But it is Drake Dempsey who may just have this title on one, well, has one hand on this WOR title.
Yep, indeed. He's definitely the favourite. Morgan Ball in P3. Morgan Ball has to win. No question about it. So he's got to find something that Drake Dempsey does not have. Well, Drake Dempsey doesn't live that far from Brazil. It's on the border of America, not going to lie. So, to be honest, it's kind of like his second home track. Obviously, he has quite a lot of home tracks. He has USA, Canada, and potentially Brazil. But we'll have to wait and see. Do we have any Brazilians in this lobby? No, we don't. Okay, so we don't have any proper home Grand Prix. So, your order then for the final round of PC Tier 2. It couldn't get any closer than this. It's very exciting. Drake Dempsey, 4/100ths of a second quicker than P2 man of Shazoo Bogan. Absolutely incredible from him. Morgan Ball, the Welshman, in third. We've got Shazoo Fritzen in fourth. It's Van Pookie in fifth. Peso sixth. Jonah Martin seventh. Matteo Longay in eighth. Harlan Marquez in ninth. Tripkov in 10th. People that are going to be on free choice of tires will be Jay Vahaha, Taz, Hazif, Sergio Sabrino, and Mark 313. All the grid separated by just under pretty much almost 9/10 per second, which I have to say is pretty incredible stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So brilliant to see the top 3 separated by less than a tenth of a second. That just shows how close these guys are with how they're driving and just how quick they are on race day. But if we go in towards the race, it's looking a little bit cloudy on my end, so we may have maybe a little bit of a scare of rain near the end, which is always spice things up. If you go back to 2008, which got a little bit of a rain scare near the end, which did cost Felipe Massa that world title, and Timo got the chance of even a podium. So it's definitely caused a few scares in the past. We got 2012 as well, but hopefully it does stay dry for the driver's sake. But for me as a commentator, I want to try and maybe see a little bit of rain.
To be honest, I'm the same. I want to see a little bit of rain as well, just to spice things up a bit as well. But we have got, before we go into the session then, let's have a quick look at the track then that the drivers are going to be racing at tonight in Interlagos. So it's quite sunny, obviously, in the graphic that you're seeing at the moment, but it is nowhere near sunny at the moment with quite an overcast conditions. Remember, 2003 was definitely one of those races where it was quite treacherous conditions, not gonna lie. There was quite a few yellow flag safety cars, people going off just after turn 3, I believe, as well. And we saw an only 3-way WR tile finale in Tier 1 back in the day with CRG Luck. We have a look at the track again. 4.309 kilometers long, 15 turns and 2 DRS zones, 1 at the start, finish straight, and 1 heading towards Ticino del Lago, and there's quite a few elevation changes as well to have a look at. So we had a few winners, including Thomas Warnhar, Fabrizio Donoso last season, and in the PS side, WOR Wizard as well. And it was quite a chaotic race as far as I remember. as well. And the formation lap's about to end, so I'll be as quick as I can. So this is quite a titanic battle between All-Rounder and Jason, going round the outside, heading in towards, I think, turn 7 to 9, I think, which is so hard to do in the treacherous conditions. I don't know, to be honest, how they done it, but they did it anyway. So they're going to be doing what they can at the moment. And I think Luck was in P2 in that race as well. So pretty intense. We're about to get going for the race. Obviously, Drake Dempsey on pole position right now. And we'll keep an eye on the tyres as well, just so people can keep an eye on that as well. What is your prediction for the win? Can Drake Dempsey get the win along with his title? Or do you think Morgan Bull could beat him on the road?
With all that stake, I definitely think Morgan Bull will definitely be fired up for this one. So I think I'm going to go with Morgan Bull, but Drake Dempsey, we cannot write him off. I think Drake Dempsey could be going out here as champion, but I think Morgan Bull, with what's at stake, can definitely win this race.
Okay, so we are about to get started for the final round of PC Tier 2. It's been really, really good so far to cover, and I'm sure Brazil is going to be just as epic. So the 5 red lights are on for the final race of PC Tier 2, and we are underway, and it looks like Drake has got a good start, but Bogan has got an even better start. Off the line, Morgan Bull, I think, has had a mediocre start, as Fritzen on the back of him as they head towards the center S. Is Bogan continuing where he left off in Mexico, is already starting to pull away from the rest of the field. Fritzen trying to go side by side with Morgan Bull heading to the Cine de Lago, can't quite do it. We've got Harlan Marquez trying to make up some ground on Matteo Longe up into P7, so already he's gained about 2 places, which is great to see. Matteo Longe also gained 1. He's got past Jonah Martins as well. Sergio's still down in 15th position, but Bogan was on the inside line, and to be honest, both had the good start, but Bogan just had a good launch into turn 1.
Yeah, Bogan with an absolutely mega start off the lights, and his tyres are probably going to be absolutely buzzing with that one after the lights, as Marcus had a little bit of an issue further back, and he spun round at the back of the field. But yeah, Bogan, the other Ferrari on the top step so far, had an absolutely fantastic reaction to the lights, and now Drake Dempsey is following all the way down the back straight as he wants to maybe have a look down into turn 1. Lewis Hamilton star on Lando Norris, if you remember, to the sprint race. Here comes Drake Dempsey thinking about it, not quite close enough this time around, and maybe just wants to wait for Decina de Lago, as Bogan going a little bit wide into turn 1, which is going to push Drake Dempsey all the way through. Here he comes then. Does he want to try and this time around? Mark retires in the pit lane. Martins having a little bit of issues as well. Drake Dempsey having a look once again, cannot get it done. Morgan Bull in the back of this, and so is Fritzen, so is Peso, and now all the way back is probably a car train of about first to 8 from Matteo Longe, having a little bit of a look on this Van Pookie. Is he going to go around the outside? Just not enough room, and Pookie having a little bit of a moment on the curves, which has to a little bit of a avoiding reaction from Longe, but it is Bogan who still leads this one, with Drake Dempsey in second and Morgan Bull in third.
Jonah Martins unfortunately had to go into the pits. He was on the soft tyres and now he's on the hard, so he got a bit of damage from that, unfortunately. So he's going to try and get on the hards for as long as he possibly can, and then probably go on the softs at the end. Let's hope he's got plenty of soft tyre life left in him as he gets to the later stage of the race, because that's where he'll be quick, and hopefully for him there's probably could be some safety cars. Matteo Longe looking very, very feisty across the start finish straight. He takes the shortest run heading towards turn 1. He's going to try and go for the outside line, or he's going to go for the inside. No, he's going to stick to the inside line into turn 1, into the centre S's. And does he keep P7? Yes, he does. It's Van Pookie not being able to capitalise on Matteo Longe's brilliant straight line speed. But we got the battle for the lead. Drake Dempsey with the DRS gets past Bogan up into P1 of this race so far. We could see quite a few switches for the lead due to the fact that people will have DRS, and if you don't have DRS, you're probably at a huge disadvantage. So this won't be the last move you'll see between these two. Morgan Bull could be in there as well, Fritzen as well. Shout out to Fritzen with his fantastic pace in the last few races. He's improved so much. If he keeps this up, maybe he could be a title contender next season.
Yeah, absolutely. So an inevitable move there for Drake Dempsey, and almost gapped Bogan by about 0.6 of a second so far as they make their way in towards Jun Shao. And Morgan Bull is probably going to have to want a little bit of a slice of Bogan here if he wants to try and keep his championship aspirations at hope. And so is Shazoo Fritzen doing absolutely wondrous things in that Red Bull so far, as here comes Morgan Bull with the DRS, but Bogan with the DRS on Drake Dempsey just makes life a little bit more harder for Morgan Bull. And Bogan having a look down that inside, just taking a very tighter line than Drake Dempsey. Already causing a few signs as Bogan to have a look down that inside. Maybe not quite close enough this time around, but I tell you what, Morgan Ball is quite close to Bogan as well, so he wants to have a look. Maybe he's a little bit too far back this time around, and once again a little bit too far back, but he's just going to have to try and trust Bogan that he keeps to the back of Drake Dempsey, but I'm sure he wants to get past him as quickly as possible, and he's pushing that Ferrari all the way through the corners, and Fritzen is probably licking his lips here to try and think of something bad that's going to happen to Morgan Ball and Bogan here, and maybe even Drake Dempsey as they make their way through into Sector 2, and Bogan is pretty much getting pushed by Morgan Ball at this point. Ball is all over the back of Bogan here.
Wow. It's pretty much the driver that doesn't want to be in third place at the moment. He wants to win this race, but he's having a superb battle, and he's going to get pretty much P2 or better in this championship nonetheless, but surely he wants to aim for much higher than that. He's got his ERS to perfection at the moment, 84%. Is he going to go for the overtake? Yes, he is going for that overtake button. Can he go to the inside line in towards turn 1? He's going to hold it. They touch a little bit as we've got Bogan trying to go around the outside. Morgan Ball keeps to the inside line through the centre S's as well. And we can see Drake Dempsey starting to pull away. Morgan Ball, can he get the edge into turn 4 into the Cine de Largo? Down the left-hand side he goes. Still going side by side. Bogan goes off the track almost as well, and like I said, you can go side by side anywhere around this track, and it's very entertaining, and Morgan Ball has proven just that, and it's a McLaren 1-2 at the moment for the Brazilian Grand Prix. Great job from Morgan Ball, and to be honest, he's now got to chase down his teammate. He's got to now at this point.
Yeah, Morgan Ball absolutely muscling his way there through Bogan. He really had to work for that overtake. Of course, Bogan could not care less about this championship fight. He just wants to finish as high as he possibly can, and why should he care about the championship? He's not in it. He doesn't care who wins it at the end of the day. He just wants to win, and so does everyone driving, and so is Fritzen, who's having a look on Bogan as well. But Ball is really wants to have a go at Drake Dempsey here on his teammate. Hopefully they don't make any contact between the two teammates. Obviously no team orders this time around, but Morgan Ball has been putting really good sectors between Sector 2 and Sector 3 on that lap, and it's got really close to the back of Dempsey as Bogan is starting to get close, or starting to stick with Morgan Ball ever so slightly. Here comes Ball having a look down the inside, not quite close enough this time around, and Drake Dempsey, I wonder if we just see this battle between Dempsey and Ball, and Dempsey still in the lead for quite some time.
Yes, I think he's going to be there for a while as well, but the pit stops will be compromised, unfortunately, for these two, because double stacking does not work on this game properly enough as well. So one of them will be compromised. So basically, they just got to work together to make sure that no one else gets the undercut on them. They've pretty much got to play very smart into this race, but they're doing well to manage their ERS. I'm just seeing if anyone else is in danger of losing out their ERS. I can tell that Harlan Marquez has been using all of his ERS because he's been trying to defend off Matteo Longo. Matteo Longo has been looking very quick, but he can't get past the Mercedes driver then. Let's see then. DRS open, overtake on, ERS deployed. Let's see what he could do, Matteo Longo. Does he go down the inside into turn 1 and make it stick? Yes, he does, but Harlem does have the DRS going into the centre S and could get Matteo Longo once again. Bogan on the back of Morgan Ball. He can't get past him again, unfortunately, either. But Matteo, brilliant control move from him. Jay does the same thing into turn 4 down the inside and gets past his Alpine teammate for tonight. It's Van Pookie, and Jay is up into 9th place. The first of the alternate strategy runners. We do have 4 of them still in this race. We've got Jay, Bahaja, Hazib, Sergio and Taz. Sergio, don't forget, started last, up to 12th, so already gained a few places already and has got involved in less carnage. So Jay doing a solid job still in this train, and watch out for him when the crossover point comes.
Yeah, definitely so. Yeah, Jay Farage is doing absolutely fantastic on those medium compound tyres so far. The leader of the alternate strategy so far, and can definitely cause a few upsets in this race later on. But here comes Bogan, nevertheless, on Morgan Ball, using all his ERS he can to try and close up to Ball here. Maybe have a look on Drake Dempsey, as here he comes then around the outside, gets boxed in. There goes Morgan Ball for the championship, maybe. Down the inside goes the Welshman. Not going to happen this time around. No, you don't, says Drake Dempsey as they come
It's
towards the
Fritzen!
back straight once again, and there comes Fritzen on the back of Bogan as well. The two Shazoo teammates having toe-to-toe. Morgan Ball having a look on Drake Dempsey. Nothing happening once again. Fritzen making nothing of it on Bogan as well, and it's getting a little bit tight here on lap 8. Bogan just getting sandwiched between the two McLarens. Nothing he could do, and it still remains Dempsey in the lead with Ball in second and Bogan P3.
This is absolutely amazing stuff right now. This is an epic championship finale. Even though Drake has the upper hand, these guys are pretty much giving it as if they are fighting for a championship, to be honest. Bogan wants a win. Bogan wants the momentum to go to him coming into the F1 22 game. And imagine what that would be to be the last person to win a WOR race on the F1 2021 game. It will be absolutely amazing. So he is pushing to get it right now. And everyone's going to have that DRS once again. So we'll see if Morgan Bull challenges his teammate once more. He's looking very, very close. We'll keep an eye on Bogan as well. Bogan not quite close enough. Morgan Bull couldn't quite get the move into Tier 1. And I think we'll see if Fritzen can close up as well. Hazard gets past Isfan Pookie for P10. So don't forget the battle for the points. If you're wondering what the point system is for WOR, pretty much the same as Formula 1. 25 points for a win, 10 points for not first place, 10th place. So just like Formula 1, so you don't get too confused at the moment. And don't forget the gap between Drake Dempsey and Morgan Ball coming into this race is 22 points. And if Drake Dempsey gets 8th or better in this race, no matter where Morgan Ball finishes, Drake Dempsey will be your champion. So at the moment, as it stands, Drake Dempsey is doing just about enough to take the title to America, the Tier 2 title to America. We'll also keep an eye on the Tier 1 proceedings as well to see if Nicholas Longue does enough to claim the Tier 1 championship. As we got a yellow flag, that is Taz who's binned it there just before the start of Sector 3. So I'll see if he's got damage. He hasn't got any noticeable damage, but he had this spin there. But we got battle for the lead. Morgan Ball down the inside into turn 1. This time he does make it work, and he is in the lead. This is what he needs to do. What Morgan Ball wants is for Bogan to get past him as well. But Drake Dempsey is going to have the DRS on Morgan Ball into turn 4. Can he keep defending? Yes, he can. Morgan Ball is your race leader, but for how long? I don't know, but this is very, very good in terms of pit stop. Morgan Ball will have the priority now.
Yeah, nice and tidy there for Morgan to get the job done on Drake Dempsey for the lead, and Bogan and Fritzen are starting to get a little bit tasty round the back there as Fritzen is really pushing on Bogan here, but just can't quite get close enough at the moment in time. As he comes towards Jun Chao for the 10th time this race, and Drake Dempsey having a little bit of a moment out of the left-hander there, keeps it fairly stable on that rear, but his tyres are maybe starting to die, and Morgan maybe just saving his tyres a little bit more than Drake at the moment as they make their way towards the back straight. And as you said, Morgan Ball will have the priority in the pit lane when he chooses to use it, but here comes Drake Dempsey with the DRS closing to his teammate. Not quite close enough this time around, and maybe wants to have a look down that back straight as Hassif gets in front of Jay Virage. He's having a brilliant race so far as Hassif on those medium compound tyres, but here comes Drake Dempsey nevertheless for the lead of the Grand Prix. He wants to have a look down that inside. He's getting closer and closer, not quite close enough. Meanwhile, Fritzen pushing that Ferrari through the back straight, and still nothing done, and it is still Morgan Ball leading, Drake Dempsey second, Bogan and Fritzen still squabbling for the final spot on the podium.
That is, I have to say, great tactics there from Morgan Ball to try and defend off Drake Dempsey there as well. And yes, don't forget, final spots on the podiums can be precious as well. We've seen that in the past in Tier 2. The podium spots have come down to the absolute wire at the moment. And if you're wondering what's going on in Tier 1 and want a little bit of a update, obviously Tomek Paragic is leading the race so far, but obviously a few people pitted onto the hard compound tyres, a few people on the medium, so that's probably screwed a little bit. So obviously we won't know yet if the championship will go down to Brazil next week in Tier 1, but all we do know is Drake Dempsey here in Tier 2 is going to go down the inside once again into turn 1, and Morgan Ball could not defend that as Drake Dempsey gets the lead once more. Now he has the priority over the pit stops, and will this give advantage to Bogan to try and get the momentum on him as well? Morgan Ball, he try go down the inside into turn 4, and he takes the lead back from Drake Dempsey. Whoa, what a move from him. Drake Dempsey did not see this coming at all from a mile off. And Bogan's right there as well. Fritzen to Peso Matteo. This is all kicking off at the moment. And we're not even halfway into this race yet. And I thought Drake Dempsey had that lead covered. Well, Morgan Ball said if anything Drake could do, well, he could do better.
Yeah, that was incredible. Incredible straight line speed there from Morgan Ball. Just the amount of curb and the brilliance of the exit out of the centre S's was just incredible from Morgan Ball to get past Drake Dempsey. That was a beautiful move from the Welshman, and now Drake Dempsey is going to have to try and respond with something a little bit more better as they started to break away ever so slightly from Bogan. But there goes Morgan Ball into the pit lane, so he's pulling the trigger early, and so does Bogan and Fritzen. So Drake Dempsey is out to lead one more lap, and Morgan Ball will be coming in, and the championship antagonist is the first one to pit onto medium compound tyres, can go the distance from here, and he is the first one to pull the trigger in this championship battle.
Well, he needs to do that, didn't he, as well? He wanted to have advantage over his teammate as well, and what Drake Dempsey just hope not is going to happen is that he may get held up and he may drop down quite a bit, but you never know. Drake Dempsey has got to pull the in-lap of his life to stay ahead, and we got Peso in P2. That's how this train is closed up as well. Peso is in this fight as well, with the top 5 still yet to pit. That's going to make things very interesting, and that will make Hadif into the race lead of the Grand Prix for just a little bit. There could be some rain that could affect things, but not at the moment. All the drivers that have just pitted are on to the medium compound tyres, and they will get to the end quite comfortably as well. But with Drake Dempsey having newer tyres going towards the end of the race, maybe it can come back to help him in the long run. So here comes Drake Dempsey into the pits. Drake is followed by Peso, Matteo and Tritkov as well. Peso and Matteo, though, getting a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. So they're going to be going on to a set of mediums then. Let's go on board with Morgan Ball as they head towards the start-finish straight. He's using that overtake. He wants to be ahead of Drake Dempsey. He wants to have that huge advantage as much as he possibly can, because he does remember he needs to win this race with Drake Dempsey scoring 9th or lower to take the championship crown to the Welsh land. As I was trying to think of something else to say, but it came out very, very weird. So Morgan Ball comes across the line, P1 and net P1 at the moment, Bogan and net P2, and due to the fact obviously Drake Dempsey had to stay out, he's in P3, but he's still in this fight, so not the worst case scenario. I think it was expected knowing the two McLarens were close to each other before the pits.
Yeah, Drake Dempsey losing quite a bit, and he's actually lost the position to Bogan as well, but Morgan Ball just stuck behind Taz at the moment, can't really find a way through unless he's going to have a look down then inside. Not going to happen this time around, so he's going to have to wait until that back straight. Sergio Sobrino, Peso and also Matteo Longe getting penalties in the pit lane, as here comes Morgan Ball on the back straight on the Mercedes of Taz. Can he try and get the job done? ERS well in use for the McLaren driver to the left hand side, easy as you like for Morgan Ball, gets the job done, and Bogan should follow through. Yes he does. Does Drake Dempsey do so? Yes he does as well, and Shazoo Fritzen sets the fast lap of the Grand Prix as Bogan having a look on Morgan Ball as well. Nothing doing there on the McLaren driver as Bogan starting to get close enough as well as Taz. Let's go Shazoo Fritzen. Here comes Drake Dempsey having a look on Bogan as well. Not quite close enough as the clouds start to part and the sun starts to come through, so we may see a sunny race instead of the rain one that we may have predicted, but it's going to be very, very interesting either way with about 20 laps to go.
Yes, 20 laps to go until the end of the Brazilian Grand Prix. It is Jay that leads, but he hasn't stopped yet, so take that into consideration. They will be going until around about lap 20, lap 21, and going on to a set of the soft compounded tyres until the end of this race, or maybe they want to stretch it to lap 22 to match what the drivers are doing right now on the mediums, and they did about 12-13 laps on the softs as well. But don't forget, they will be on low fuel as well, so they'll be going just a little bit faster compared to the softs at the start of the racing. Drake Dempsey will have another look on Bogan. He doesn't need to be in this position, well, he doesn't need to win the championship, as it were, but he wants to climb as many positions as he can to have an advantage going into the new game. As Dempsey, living in America, he wants to beat everybody here today. Bogan's got the DRS though, but does Drake Dempsey have the straight line speed? Well, Drake Dempsey is staying put for the time being. And look at that, Drake Dempsey just has the overall pace advantage on that Ferrari driver. And Bogan has been left for dust at the moment because he can't get past Morgan Bull. Drake Dempsey can't get past due to the dirty air. Well, if it was on the F122 game, I'm almost certain Drake Dempsey would have been passed by now. But I'm looking forward to seeing those fights when the new game comes out. July 1st, don't forget, is when the new F122 game comes out on all 3 platforms, and June 28th for the Championship Edition. If you wish to pay about 10, 20 quid more if you want to. But to be fair, I wouldn't mind just getting it on the day of release on July 1st. But anyway, Drake Dempsey, he's taking the run on Bogan earlier than I predicted, actually. But he's keen to get past Bogan to gain as many points as he can. He could get 2 drivers into turn 1. Drake Dempsey down the inside of Morgan Bull. And that was well timed at the moment. And Morgan Bull has been left for dust. Drake Dempsey actually been left for dust at the moment, actually, as well. I thought Drake Dempsey was going to go down the inside there, but Bogan covered him off there as well. Could Bogan get Morgan Bull into turn 4? Nope, he could not. That was just so close and sensational. Racing purist as well. I got a bit confused there as to which McLaren driver it was, because they were all line astern at the moment. Morgan Bull is still ahead. Only just. I think Drake Dempsey must be absolutely furious that he can't get past Bogan. Wow.
No, he cannot. He's probably saying a few interesting words under that helmet. It's Drake Dempsey to try and get past Bogan. I'm sure he's probably not happy with the way Bogan is describing himself, but at the moment, it's still him in a net P2 as Bogan goes very, very wide out of the exit of Jun Shao, and there goes Drake Dempsey. He's getting the job done this time around, leaving Bogan for dust, and Drake Dempsey up into P5 and maybe wanting to have a look on Morgan Bull as well.
Yes, indeed, Drake Dempsey, he's going to go down the inside. It didn't work last time, but will it work this time? It does work this time. Brilliant stuff. Morgan Bull is trying to cover off Bogan as well. And Drake Dempsey, as you can see, is pulling away on those fresher tyres. He pitted a lap later than its rivals, and it paid off. And he's going to try and make sure he stretches that gap. Morgan Bull just about covers Bogan, and Morgan is in a net P2. On the time penalty front, don't forget, Sergio Sabrino and Peso, the only drivers to pick up the time penalty. I'm surprised that there's only 2 drivers. I thought there would be more drivers to pick up time penalties, but it is not as common to get time penalties around here compared to some other tracks on the calendar. And it is getting quite hot in terms of the tyres as well, so that's what they've got to be aware of in terms of tyre degradation. Tyre wear may not be as prominent. It may be pretty good around here, but the tyre temps, well, they just got to make sure they don't overheat their tyres in order to lose a bit of grip. We'll have to wait and see. So Morgan Bull, second attempt then. He can't even get close to Drake Dempsey at the moment. He's just lacking the straight line speed. But is he going to get in with the DRS? We've got a yellow flag. That is Aston Martin that's binned it. That is Jonah Martin. So he's down in 14th position on those hards. And to be honest, I don't want to be running those hards around their safety car. That is good news if you're the top 3, because you've just been given a free pit stop. They're not going to lose as many positions as they once were if they didn't have a free pit stop. They're not going to be leading the race, but they won't be that far off this train. I'm excited. What would you do? I don't know, but the top 3 will definitely be coming in for a set of the soft compounder tyres. That has helped them a lot.
I tell you what, this might have just costed Morgan Bull the title here. Jay Virage and Hassif and Sabrino stay in front, which probably at the moment I probably doubt it, but it may just cost Morgan Bull. That is not what he needed at this time of the race, battling hard with Drake Dempsey, and now it's been interrupted due to the safety car. Jonah Martin is still running, but Jay Virage, who's currently leading away with Hassif in second, Sabrino in third, yet to pit. Varahe comes in, Hassif comes in, they all 3 comes in. I wonder if any of the top 4 come in as well. Here comes Drake Dempsey. He's coming into the box. Morgan Bull stays out. Bogan comes in. Fritzen stays out. Peso comes in. Tritkov comes in. Marquise, Taz, Istvan Pookie, I believe, is all coming in. They're all coming in, but Morgan Bull and Fritzen decide to stay out. This could be interesting, and this may have the upper hand for Morgan Bull at the click of a finger. Drake Dempsey in P6 at the moment, still in a good position to win the title, but with
Bogan's on mediums,
and Bogan's on mediums, this is gonna hurt.
I'm sure he didn't mean to select mediums, but that's probably why he pitted for soft. That is a shame. He's going to get swamped by the soft runners behind, and I thought he was pitting for softs, but no, he pitted for mediums. That is just, I haven't been that disappointed since I saw Felipe Massa doing the incident in Hungary in 2009. That is just absolutely going. I've never felt even more disappointing since Charles Leclerc lost his engine in the Spanish Grand Prix. If you haven't watched the Spanish Grand Prix, I'm sorry. Spoiler alert. Leclerc didn't do very well. Bogan, well, he's continuing that curse, unfortunately. What a shame. I'm sure the Bogan fans in the chat must be absolutely screaming, saying, why did you go on mediums? I would like to have a chat with him in the chat, actually, after this race and say, well, you meant to be going on the mediums? I don't know. But I would be absolutely torn as to what I would do. But Trey Dempsey obviously had the call. He had the call to pit on to a certain amount of tyres, and everyone else pretty much followed apart from Fritzen. He stayed, obviously Morgan Bull had to stay out because otherwise he would lose much more time and be near the back as well. I don't know the difference, but it's really good on the alternate strategy as well. Jay Verhaar is in P3 and the leading runner on the soft compounded tyres, but he's going to have drivers that are considerably faster behind him. But to be honest, in qualifying, there was not much difference between all of them, so this could get interesting. Could Jay win this race?
Jay can definitely win this race on the soft compounded tyre. I tell you what, I wouldn't bet. I bet my money that Jay Verhaar could be leading in towards turn 1. You never know, and maybe even into Jun Chao if he gets more aggressive. But it's definitely opened this up for Jay Verhaar, Hasif, and even Sabrina Drake Dempsey as well, who was already doing quite well in this race, but just opens this race up into anyone's favour, to be honest. Jonas Martins comes into the pit lane. He's going to try and strap on the soft compound tyres, but Bogan, if that was the right call for the mediums, it might be interesting near the end. The softs, 16-15 laps on the soft compound tyres is doable, but it's very, very risky if you do decide to go for it. It could be interesting near the end between these guys who have elected for the softs. They're going to try and go for it early on, but it's definitely going to be an interesting one. Jonas Martins straps on the softs. He's got nothing to lose. 56 seconds back on Matteo Longe, but it's definitely going to be interesting from this way onwards.
Maybe Bogan has stayed out, probably because that he thought that the softs weren't going to make it to the end and he wants a fresher grip potentially as well, so maybe it wasn't a mistake. But anyway, Morgan Bull on the mediums. Well, they're not going to be as fast now, but wait until the end of this race. That's why he's going to start to come alive when the softs start to degrade. As we're about to get underway once again and go green flag racing, Fritzen is keen to get going, and watch out for the soft runners as they may go breezing past the medium runners. We'll have to wait and see. Heading towards turn 1, Drake Dempsey has already got past quite a few cars already. Drake Dempsey is absolutely flying. Jay Verhaar not getting the grip he needed at the moment. Heading towards turn 4 to Cena Delago. Fritzen is doing really well on those mediums. Morgan Bull too. So for the top two, absolutely brilliant. But for Bogan, he's dropped down a little bit as Pesso has had a bit of a moment. He's gone off the track into turn 4, I believe, and he's dropped down into 13th position. Matteo Longe also stayed out on those medium compound tyres. He's dropped down into 12th position. Now we got Taz. He's been boxed in by an Alfa Romeo and a AlphaTauri as well. So he's feeling a little bit under pressure as well. This is getting very, very exciting. The soft runner not being able to get past the medium runners up front, with the soft being a second quicker compared to the medium. I'm a bit shocked at the moment. Maybe if Morgan Bull could just fall away, well, he's doing what he needs to do right now, but Drake Dempsey needs to be 9th or lower for Morgan Bull to win the title. Here comes Jay in towards turn 1. Can Jay go down the inside in towards the most crucial part of the circuit? He's got Fritzen for company. Fritzen's down the inside. Jay's around the outside. Who's going to have the better run into the DRS zone? Obviously no DRS yet until lap 24. Does Jay have the upper hand? Fritzen could go down the inside there. Nope, he could not. But he's under pressure from Hasif now on those soft tyres. Maybe Fritzen's mediums are not being the right tyres right now. Jay's up into second, but can he do enough to get past Morgan Bull? Well, I don't know at this moment in time, but Hasif's doing a really great job to catch up into second place. Drake Dempsey, what's he going to do? A double overtake. It's going to be 3 wide in towards turn 8 and 9. Oh my God, this is so close. Please don't make it 3 wide, lad. He's getting past one Red Bull driver. And, wow, I'm a bit lost for words at the moment.
That is fantastic from the championship leader, Drake Dempsey, up into P5, getting the job done on Fritzen. And I tell you what, he might be having a look on Sergio Sobrino as well as they come towards the back straight. No DRS needed for the American driver to the left-hand side. Drake Dempsey into P4. DRS is now enabled in lap 24.36, 12 laps to go. Drake Dempsey into P4, easy as you like, and now can try and challenge with Hassif and Varahe again, alongside Morgan Bull, who's under a little bit of pressure from Varahe as well as they in towards the DRS. He's going to try it around the outside. Goes Varahe, not this time around, a little bit too far back, and he still remains in P2. But it's Van Pookie trying to get close to Bogan as Bogan around the outside. They get very, very tight. Bogan is going to have a look down that inside, and there goes Yannick Tripkov having a spin there. Lucky he did not collect. This Van Pookie has gone well off the track to try and avoid the action. Incredible there. That was so tight, and it's cost this Van Pookie trying to take avoiding action. Lucky Tripkov held onto his brakes, but that is undone a lot of hard work. But it's still but it's good news for the likes of Bogan. He's up into P7, Fritzen in 6th, Sabrino 5th, Dempsey 4th, Hessif 3rd, and Varahe 2nd, with Morgan Bull leading. But right now it's not enough for the title.
No, it is definitely not. But Drake Dempsey is looking very, very feisty indeed. He's going to get past one car of Hazip as well as he's been boxed in once again. Hazip trying to go down the inside of Jay Varahe. Drake Dempsey could go around the outside of both of these drivers as well. It's complete, very, very risky indeed. Another yellow flag. That is Trukov once again down in 13th position. Morgan Bull under pressure from Jay. Jay could get the lead here around the outside into turn 4, heading towards turn 5 now, still side by side. Hazip trying to go past the middle of them and play a backseat. Drake Dempsey has definitely got the boxy here at the moment. He's very eager to get past the AlbertAuri driver at the moment, but to no avail. This is absolutely amazing stuff. Grab your popcorn. This is the championship finale for PC Tier 2. Drake Dempsey is in a good position to win the title. Drake Dempsey only needs to get 8 or better to win this, and he's doing more than enough at this moment in time. Has Pesso, I think, got past Mateo Longate up into 8th position. Bogan's still on his train, so is Fritz, and he's not dropping down too much at the moment. And this could be another titanic scrap for the race lead. Jay, he's got to get past the other. Hazif will try and get past as well. Jay taking the outside line this time, and Hazif has been boxed by both McLarens. Morgan Bull in P2. Well, he's not in P2 anymore as Drake Dempsey goes past both Hazif and Morgan Bull. Jay is your race leader, and Hazif is out of the race.
And Morgan Bull's in trouble as well. He's made contact with Hassif. The championship antagonist has come together with Hassif. There's a little bit of an interesting connection between the two. Morgan Bull and Hassif make contact. Bull, I believe, may have damage on that McLaren. The safety car is out for the second time. No damage visually on that McLaren, but Drake Dempsey is in time to maybe try and get his first world title here in WOR. And what a championship battle has been so far. Hassif, who is in such a great position, has been crushed out of this race at turn 3. Unfortunate to see. A little bit of connection issues, I believe, was what I saw. But Morgan Bull down in 11th, but this gives him the opportunity to pit onto the soft compound tyres, repair any damage, and try and go back to square one. But with 10 laps to go, Drake Dempsey has maybe 1.5 hands on that trophy.
Wow, that is a shame for Morgan Bull and Hazif to be involved in this crash. And, well, if you're on the mediums, I would box, unless you're Bogan, because Bogan wants track position. Bogan knows that he's going to have fresher tyres towards the end of this race. He pitted pretty much during the safety car, so you can afford to stay out. But if you've been on those medium tyres, it's about lap 12, I would box. And that's what these drivers are going to do at the moment. Morgan Bull is also on a soft tyre, so the only driver not on those soft tyres is Bogan, and the one that's got on the freshest tyres and is going to be up front, I believe, leading at the cars out of the pit lane, is Fritzen. So Fritzen, don't forget, can still be back in this race. This has thrown the strategy wide open at the moment, and the championship is far from over at the moment. Morgan Bull can still be in this with the fresher grip. Bogan can still win this race. We'll have to wait and see. Jay must be under huge pressure. I wonder what Drake must be feeling right now. I wonder Drake must try and defend for Morgan Bull. I think he's just got to make sure Morgan Bull is behind. He doesn't even need to win. So as long as he keeps up the pace and keeps up consistency, then the title is his. And Bogan, I am going to look at the championship as far as 5th and 6th place, because that's still to be decided tonight. Well, with Jonah Martins down in 13th place, well, Jonah Martins is not going to score any points. But with Bogan in 4th, well, 6th place will belong to Bogan at the end of this race, because that will be absolutely amazing for Bogan, who became a full-time driver not too long ago. So I have to say that'll be huge for him, because it's gonna be tough, because Bogan is on the means and everyone else on the softs. But I think people to watch out for: Drake, Bogan, and also Fritz and Petzo and Matteo as well. Matteo's got that time penalty, don't forget. And Morgan Bull, well, he's got to do a Lewis Hamilton type drive to stand any chance of getting into championship contention.
Yeah, this is going to have to be the about the 8-7 laps of Morgan Bull's life if he wants this title, and he's going to have a little bit of luck with Drake Dempsey spinning round if he can, and this is going to have to be a mega mountain to climb for Morgan Bull. If it already was a very, very steep hill, this is going to have to be double the size of Everest for Morgan Bull to climb if he wants this World Championship. This is going to be very, very difficult from here on in for Morgan Bull, but Drake Dempsey just has to stay put. He doesn't even have to overtake Jay Varahe if he wants to, but I'm sure the racing driver inside him will definitely want to try and win this race. But it's definitely going the way of Drake Dempsey, with Jay Varahe, who's qualified 11th, the backmarker's pole position, if you like, with the alternate strategy, now finds himself leading this race with about 8 laps to go. 7 after the safety car will come in, and this is looking a little bit sweet for Jay Varahe, but even sweeter for Drake Dempsey.
I know, but like you were saying earlier, will those tyres get to the end of this race on optimum pace? Because don't forget, we got guys on fresher rubber. The Delta will be even more quicker compared to obviously ones on older softs. We've got Bogan, where the crossover point will come in his favour in about, well, 3 or 4 laps time. So it could be anyone's game at the moment, and it's not Fritz's game at the moment, because Fritzen has left the session. So hopefully he can join back very, very soon. But safety car restart. We're about to go racing once again. Jay has got a really good restart then on Drake Dempsey. But Drake Dempsey is the race in him. He could try to go down the inside, but he's staying behind at the moment. He's playing a long game. He knows when to get the moves. He probably will wait for the DRS detection point, which will be on lap 31. Bogan still on his train at the moment. Harlan Marquez has dropped down to P13. Morgan Bull is making up places. He started 10th in that restart, and he's up into 8th position around the outside into turn 4, and he's on a huge comeback. He's on a mission. He could get P7 out of all of this, because Matteo Longue has got a time penalty as well. So that safety car pretty much has saved his bacon. We've got a few people in the chat thinking Bogan could still take the win. Well, Bogan is definitely one of the people on my shortlist who I think is going to take the win today, but there's still other people that could change that at this moment in time. Morgan Bull obviously wearing a helmet of one of his favourite drivers in F1, George Russell. Well, he got a podium in Spain today. Well, can Morgan Bull take the win or even a podium? We'll have to wait and see, but Drake Dempsey is on the attack.
Yep, and there he goes then into the lead. Goes Drake Dempsey, getting the job done on Jay Varahe. Will he have a look down the inside? No, he's not. He's going to wait a little while longer. There goes Istvan Pukki down the end on Shizu Bogan. Gets the job done, does Bogan. In the meantime, still hanging on in there, but Morgan Bull at the moment will end up finishing 6th with Sabrino with a penalty alongside Longue, but he needs to win. He has to win this race if he wants the title to go to him, but right at the moment his championship rival Drake Dempsey leading this way by 0.3 of a second to Jay Varahe, with Sabrino in P3, Bogan in P4, Istvan Pukki in P5. Make that P4 for Istvan Pukki. Brilliant move there in the Alpine on that Ferrari. Beautiful move from the Hungarian, and Pukki up into P4.
Well, Pukki, I have to say, this is one of his strongest races I've seen so far in WOR, and we were speaking before stream that Josh was not expecting Pukki to be in this tier. He was expecting to be in the tier above, and he is definitely performing above our expectations at the moment. And Pesso, don't forget, he was near the back before these safety cars, and he's up into B6. He could get past Bogan. Matteo Longa's in this fight as well. All of the positions can change hands here at the moment in this championship. Oh, it's Peso's gone round. Peso's gone round. He just tagged, I think, one of the Alpines. That was spooky. He was going to go and get 2 drivers in one corner down the inside, but unfortunately that doesn't work out. That allows Morgan Ball, actually no, that doesn't affect Morgan Ball's position. He stays in P7, but you'll get P6. Bogan has dropped down into P6 because Matteo Longa has got past him as well. He's got to try and get that deposit, unfortunately, but at the moment it is all looking in Drake Dempsey's hands. We've got Taz trying to go down the right hand side as well. He almost had a bit of contact as well from the McLaren, and then we got the Aston Martin as well. Morgan Ball, well, to be honest, I think Morgan Ball is starting to realise that the championship's not going his way. As where has Jonah Martins come from? Oh my goodness, Jonah Martins, take a bow. He was running pretty much last throughout the whole race. He's up into 8th place, and well, I said that about Peso and his sponsor. Please, Jonah, do not spin because he's doing so well. Morgan Ball, however, tries to go the outside line of Bogan. Can he keep it the outside line? He's going to. He's going to. They don't bang wheels. Morgan Ball has the upper pace advantage on Bogan. Peso is out of the race. He's retired in the pit lane. And we're now down to 12 runners of this Brazilian Grand Prix. Drake Dempsey still leads. Jonah Martins up another position then. But for how much longer? Bogan can fight back. But Jonah Martins does have the fresher grip. And Taz as well is going to fight as well. This is sensational stuff, not just for the lead, but for the midfield positions as well.
Yeah, this is getting brilliant to see, and Jonah Martins was a lap down under the safety car and now finds him on the lead lap in P7. That is a brilliant recovery drive from Jonah Martins, and right now we'll see himself in P5 with the penalties applied, yellow flags in Sector 1. That's for Peso with his retirement, unfortunately. Morgan Ball right now sitting in P4 will not be enough. Drake Dempsey has broken this gap to almost a second with Jay Farahe just ever so slightly off the pace between the two. As here comes Matteo Longa, a huge crash down the straight, and Matteo Longa into the wall.
Safety car.
There is another safety car with 3 laps to go.
I caught the aftermath of that, but I did see Matteo Longa crash. My, oh my, this has just got even more interesting. Could we see a final lap safety car? Ooh, when was the last time we saw that? Real life 2021 Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Oh my goodness. We will get a 1 lap sprint to the finish. Morgan Ball is back in this fight. He's got the freshest tyres. He's in 4th place. And it is not over. Drake Dempsey could get swamped and could drop down, and Morgan Ball could be champion. We thought that Drake Dempsey had this title in the bag, but after that huge crash, well, Morgan Ball still has another chance.
Yeah, he absolutely does. It's not over for Morgan Ball just yet, and Drake Dempsey is going to have to drop down quite a bit if he wants to win this title. He only needs 8th or better, so it's going to have to be, well, it doesn't really have to push too hard. Does he pit this lap? No, he doesn't. Surely you don't pit this lap.
No, do not pit.
As anyone doesn't pit. Yeah, that'd probably be not a very good idea.
Unless you're Pookie.
Out of this one, and yeah, I believe Pookie will be pitting. He does have that damage on his car. Wouldn't be surprised if he does decide to retire the car, but obviously with 3 laps to go, he probably won't. So we will have a 2-lap shootout. I don't think I've seen a race go to the final lap under the safety car.
Well,
so
I've seen it last night. I've seen it last night with a 1-lap shootout. Believe it or not, the safety car came. I think it was 3 laps. No, I think it was 2 laps before the end. Yeah, it has happened. We thought it needs at least 2 green flag laps, but the last night proved that it doesn't. But yeah, I totally agree with you, Josh. I think it's going to come in this lap. So we'll have 2 green flag laps. No DRS laps, don't forget. So, who is your money on in the chat? Oh, I don't know who's going to get this win. Literally anybody is in a shot of winning this. I don't think Bogan's going to win. No offence, he's on the mediums. He's staying out. And his tyre wear is starting to slip ever so slightly. But for everybody else, they have a very good chance. Even Pookie still has a good chance. If he can catch up to the safety car in time, he should do. Because the Delta, well, he's able to catch up to that key. Yes, safety car is in this lap. this could be people's best results here. We could still see a McLaren 1-2. So Morgan Bull has got to be on his A game at the moment. Sergio could be on for his best result. Jonah Martins, I think he had a good result last week, don't forget. He could be on for another good result as well here. He could be on for a podium as well. More good recovery drive for him as well. So here we go then for the penultimate lap of the Brazilian Grand Prix, the penultimate lap of WOR PC Tier 2, and Drake Dempsey pulls away as Morgan Bull is already keen to get the ball rolling very, very quickly indeed. But Sergio Sabrino's having none of that. Jonah Martins down the inside of Morgan Bull as he gets past almost. Nobody does not. It's going to be free abreast into the centre S's. Now he's allowing the top two just to pull away ever so slightly. You know, this is kind of aggressive defending between Jonah Martins and the Williams drivers there. A bit questionable, but I hope that might just be a bit of lag from Sergio's end. A bit of weaving there. It's Harlan Marquez who's up into P6. Good recovery drive from him as well. Both Mercedes drivers will score some decent points here today. But that was just very, very intense indeed. Still loads that can happen though. Drake Dempsey still leads.
Yeah, absolutely. It's getting very, very tight everywhere. And Jonah Martins could be on for a podium as well if he gets past Morgan Bull. Morgan Bull really has to get past Jay Farahe. He needs an absolutely incredible final lap if he wants this win. I think the championship may be a little bit too steep for Morgan Bull at the moment, but he's going to try his best. Here they come then, the final lap of PC Tier 2 in WOR. Dempsey leads, Farahe in second, Morgan Bull in third, Drake Dempsey leading the way in the championship. Pack your bags, here we go. We're going to have one more tour around Brazil for the last time on F1 2021.
Oh, it's a bit bittersweet, isn't it? I've been enjoying this season a lot, and to be honest, this has been one of my favourite races to commentate on. As Taz goes down around the outside of Sergio Sabrina up into B5 as well. Another person that I was not expecting to be up there. Incredible stuff as we're starting to see Jonah Martins and Morgan Bull chasing down Jay. It could be a photo finish, which will be very, very great to see at this moment in time. But Drake and Jay's tyres, you can tell, are on the edge of a cliff right now. They are starting to, as they make contact a little bit, Morgan Bull and the Alpine driver. Oh my God, that was so close. Jonah Martins is on the podium now. Jonah Martins on the podium, but let's draw our attention to this man, Drake Dempsey. He has been pretty much on fire since the start of this race. He pretty much took the lead and stayed there. He had the gap he needed to. Drake Dempsey is your PC Tier 2 champion for WOR. Jay from 11th to 2nd. He held up the competition and he delivered. He probably was not expecting that, but Jake did what he needed to do. He didn't even need to win, but he won anyway. He won in style, and to be honest, Jay got drive of the day, but to be fair, well deserved. I didn't think he was going to hold off fierce competition of Morgan Bull and Jonah, but he did. And Jonah Martins is second podium in a row after being last for the whole race. It just shows how safety cars could change everything, but you need to have the pace. We saw in qualifying how close everybody is, and you need the pace in order to do that. And Jonah Martins, well, that was absolutely amazing stuff. But to be honest, the man of the night has got to be Drake Dempsey. We will be speaking to him at the end of this race. That was absolutely amazing stuff. And the fastest lap does go to Fritz in there as well. I have to say, Taz honourable mention from 12th to 4th place. Jane from 10th to 8th. Harlan Marquez 9th to 6th. But commiseration has to go to Morgan Bull. He did pull up a valiant fight all season long. So close. He will get P2 in the Drivers' Championship. Lenny will get 3rd, and Lennard will get 4th position. We'll run for your order then before we go on to podium interviews. Drake Dempsey wins from Jay, Jonah Martins, Taz, Morgan Bull, Harlan Marquez, and we got Isvan Pookie, Jane Trickoff, Bogan. What could have been if there was no safety cars? I think he could have won this race, not gonna lie. He had fantastic pace on those mediums, and Sergio does get the final point. And then your final finisher is Fritzen, and your retirements Matteo Longe, Pesso, Hazif, and Mark 313. I may need a lie down after this, Josh. That was absolutely incredible.
Was an absolutely incredible championship decider. I don't think I've ever commentated over a driver's title that's gone the distance before, but what an absolutely fantastic race That was we saw today. Massive congratulations to Drake Dempsey with the races I've seen, and he's been absolutely fantastic all the way through and definitely deserved that title. Obviously, commiserations as well to Morgan Ball with what happened at the last lap. Obviously, it gets a little bit tight in there, and it usually does, but fantastic drive though from Jonah Martins. Was a lap down under the first safety car. He was the cause of the first safety car by spinning into the wall, and he fights up to grab a podium on the last lap of the Grand Prix. What a drive from Jonah Martins. And I know I think it was, I'm not sure who was got driver of the day, but I think
it was Jay in game. It was Jay in game.
Yeah, it was. It was Jay Varai in game, but I think I'm gonna have to give that one to Jonah Martins. That was an incredible comeback.
I have to give it to give it to Jonah Martins as well. You're just proving that you do not give up. Remember, Lewis Hamilton in real life said he would probably retire after lap 1. Well, Jonah Martins is proof that if you just stick it out, and you could get awarded. And I did say there could be a lot of safety cars, so that was absolutely incredible there. So we may as well get in our champion in waiting. Well, he had the upper hand anyway going into this, but he still had to deliver tonight. But first of all, we're going to be interviewing on a man who finished P3, the second podium in a row for this man. It is, of course, Jonah Martins.
Hello.
Wow, you probably wasn't expecting that going into this race. You were last for the majority of it, but through the last half of the race, you were looking on fire, and you got a podium out of all that. How do you feel?
Pretty happy. Not very sure. I might get a penalty for causing the safety car, and my pedals died. So I was like stuck on track after I crashed. Like middle of the corner, my pedals, it felt like it went full throttle for no reason. Then I was like stuck. So yeah, I don't know. The safety car didn't really help though, because I was like half a lap back after the safety car went in. I don't know how that happened, but yeah, after that, the second safety car did help me out and put me back into the race, and it made a lot of interesting last laps, interesting battles, to say the least. But yeah, good fun.
Yeah, it looked like you had good fun as well, but we thought your race was over in turn 1, lap 1. Talk us through what happened there.
In lap 1, yeah, I think it was, I had a decent start. I outstarted the guy on my left. I think it was Taz. I'm not very sure, but, and then ahead of me there was like a chain reaction of Pookie hitting someone, and then because of that he like smashed back into me. So it was like there was no way I was avoiding it, because it kind of felt like a brake check because of Pookie also hitting someone ahead of him. So yeah, nothing really I could do. Then after that I left by Harlem and Matteo, and then after that I just pitted because there was no reason for me to continue driving with damage.
Yeah, fair enough. But you talk us through your season as well. What's been your highlight of the season? Obviously, it's got to be this race as well. But any other highlights as well, apart from this race?
I think Russia's still a very good one.
Oh, yes, I remember that race. That was very good for you.
It was the strategy helped out massively there. It's been a long season, up and downs, a few moments of tough luck, like Imola where I was on for a podium and then got damaged because of someone trying to let me by. Same as in Bahrain, it also happened with my Jay trying to let me by. Miscommunication made it so I got wing damage. So yeah, I don't know. It's been an up and down season, but overall I've had fun. Congrats to Drake. He's been the class of the season the whole season. I think in most races, if I were to get it right, I could have been on pace with him maybe, but you can't say that afterwards, so it's just an excuse.
Fair enough.
I'm pretty happy afterwards, after all the races.
Pretty much. And Josh, do you have any questions for our P3 man?
Oh, Jonah, that was an absolutely incredible drive from you. What a comeback from last on the field to getting that podium. Obviously, P2 could have been on the cards. It was quite close between you and Jay. Obviously, he got that, I think Morgan got that damage near the end. Were you ever in doubt that the podium could have been on near those ends of the safety car?
Well, I wasn't sure I was going to get a podium anyway the whole time. When the last safety car came out with 3 laps to go, I was in P5 or P6 on track with Sergio ahead with a pen, so I knew I'd be like in for net P4, P5, somewhere there. So I knew I was going to have to overtake at least one for a podium. and I knew Drake and Jay were both on 8 lap older tires than me. So it was interesting, and I expected Morgan to get past Jay on the first lap, to be fair, with the tire difference, which he didn't. And then after the lap after, he broke his wing, which put me in the contention for even P2 at the end. But yeah, managed to get past Morgan. Then I had really good momentum onto Jay, so it was nearly possible to get P2 into the final corner. But I didn't want to cause anything like a massive crash on the final lap. Like, there's no need for that. I didn't have a championship to fight for, so I didn't see the need to do like a kind of a dirty send on Jay, which I could have done, the position I was in. But yeah, it was a good few last laps, good fun.
Absolutely. Well, massive congratulations to you. Obviously, going on to the next game on F1 22. Are you excited? What your plans to do? Maybe WR next season? Maybe a tier higher? Maybe.
I don't think I'll be able to get myself into tier 1. I'm not sure. We'll have to see next game, obviously, because everyone will. The game will maybe suit some people at the early stage of the game and suit less people at the end of the game. But I'll try and get myself at least into tier 2 again for next season. Considering I really like driving on Sundays, so I'll definitely try to get into tier 1, but we'll see. Considering
Absolutely.
my season was a big shambles points wise. So.
And I'd just like to say a big thank you as well for being one of our tier coordinators for tier 2 as well. Thank you for all your help and support for hosting and the smooth running of tier 2 this season. So on behalf of the commentators and the drivers, thank you so much for that as well. That couldn't go unnoticed there. So congratulations to Jona Martins, our P3 man for this evening's race. Well done.
Thank you.
Right, we'll move swiftly on because time is getting very, very short of us at the moment. We've interviewed our P3 man. Let's interview the man who started 11th position and finished in P2 on the alternate strategy. It is, of course, Jay. How are you doing? Well, how do you feel about that result?
I am thrilled. It's insane how I got P2. And it's not the win, but P2 from this race is amazing.
Yes, obviously in qualifying, I could tell that you were backing off on your final run. You knew you were going for that old strat. Was it the plan all along to do the medium to soft strategy?
I was thinking, or I wanted to see the pace first. So I wanted to see how quick I am on the soft, since I didn't really do a lot of practice for tonight. But eventually I saw myself in like P8, P9. I was like, maybe I could get P11. And the alt strat is pretty nice. So eventually I just went out for my last run as late as possible, so I would be the last guy over the line. And I saw myself in P11, and if I would improve, I would only be like P8, P9. So I was like, I'll just take P11. So it wasn't planned from the start, but at the end I did back off on purpose, yeah.
Yes, I had a feeling about that as well. When you saw that first safety car, what was going through your mind there? Was it a big sigh of relief for you?
Yeah, it couldn't have been with better timing. Like, it was the best, because normally you pit around lap 20 from mediums to softs, and it came out, I believe, lap 19. So with the slow laps of the safety car, it was basically perfect timing. And when I came out the pit and I was behind the safety car, I saw myself in P2, I believe it was, or P3, something like that. So then I was a bit sweaty.
Yeah, you must have been as well, but you managed to hold on for dear life in that final safety car, and you managed to keep P2, which was a brilliant result for you. Apart from tonight, obviously tonight has been one of your highlights. What has been your other main highlights, or was just Brazil topped it off for you?
I mean, to be honest, I think Brazil just topped it off, because it is the last race, and we are going on to a new game. So I think it's good that we ended this game with a good positive. And just a great result overall.
And the game gave you drive of the day as well.
yeah. First time ever, so...
Woo! That is good news. Josh, any questions for Jay?
Well, Jay, that was an absolutely fantastic try from you, from P11 all the way up into P2. That was absolutely fantastic. Obviously, going into the next game now, obviously the season's over. Do you plan to do WOR next season? Do you think you can try and stay up there with the big boys?
I am planning to do WR, for now at least. And realistically speaking, I probably would be tier 2 again. if I can make it, of course. But yeah, I think tier 2 suits me best for now because I have some good challenges and yeah, sometimes surprises like this.
Absolutely.
Yes, and also thank you also for helping Jonah Martins with the tier coordinator stuff. Typical tier coordinators that make up the top 3 in the race so far. So it must be something going right there.
rigged. No.
Joking, only joking. Congratulations, Jay. I will let you go and celebrate. Jay Verharte, our P2 man of the Brazilian Grand Prix.
Thanks.
Right, so our final man that we're going to be interviewing today, well, we saved the best to last. Ladies and gentlemen, your PC Tier 2 champion for WOR, it is, of course, Mr. Drake Dempsey. Round of applause. Drake, put it into words, sum up. How do you feel for doing it out on track? You didn't need to win the race today, but how does it feel to win the title?
I mean, I'm elated. I mean, I don't really know what else to say. I mean, I'm not jumping up and down. But, like, I mean... Ooh.
Did it help that there was less pressure on you today? You only need to have pretty much finish 8th in order to win the title. Did that help you a little bit, ease the pressure off you?
Definitely. I mean, the less pressure you have, the easier it is for you not to stress out. I mean, I definitely didn't feel as much pressure. It feels like a close 1 point gap or something, like we've seen in other tiers. But it was definitely weight off my shoulders, as I knew I could afford to lose some. But my natural, I mean, of course, you always want to win, even if you don't have to. But I just tried my best and it worked out, luckily.
Yeah, brilliant as well. And obviously with the safety cars, obviously you didn't have to box as well. But when you were probably the first driver that probably made the decision to go on the softs for the first time, did you think it was the right decision at that point?
Well, once I saw other people pulling into the pit lane, I knew it was the right decision. So I think it was just around the time where it was good. It was a good time for you to pit for the softs, considering that's about the pit window for the mediums to soft strategy, lap 19, lap 20. So, yeah, I mean, I knew I had to, so Morgan had to stay out, or he could have pit, but it would have also screwed him over for once again, unfortunately.
And I have to say, the moves you made during those safety cars, I have to say, were absolutely incredible. You had less pressure, but you were like, oh, screw it, I was going to go for the moves anyway. It sounded like that you still had the racer instinct in you. You still wanted to win this race, didn't you?
Definitely. I mean, I'm always wanting to get the maximum results, so backing down isn't always an option. If I have to, then I will, and I know how to, but it was there, so I had to take it. My best shot at it. So luckily it worked out and did our best and came home with the win, 3 in a row to end off the season. Couldn't have been any better at all.
Well, you got the most wins this season out of everyone in Tier 2. What has been your highlight this season in Tier 2? Surely it must be a race that you really, really enjoyed and your best win maybe. Just tell us, what was your favourite race this season?
Definitely not Imola, definitely not Russia.
Not Monza.
Not Italy, no. I got cursed on the Italian tracks.
Yeah, you got screwed, didn't you? In the changeable conditions, didn't you? Don't worry.
It was rough, but I think I enjoyed quite a few of them. Of course, I enjoyed these last few. France or Netherlands was definitely my best wins of the season. Austria was a great win. That was my first win, I believe. But yeah, I mean, just the races I won were my favorite, of course. I know that's a pretty dull answer, but I mean,
it's not a dull answer, it's a right answer.
I mean, I enjoyed several moments throughout the season, battling with Lenny and whatnot. But yeah, I basically took it to Tier 1, which I wouldn't have, but you know, hopefully I get a chance next week, which is my goal.
Well, you can now, because I think 2 weeks in a row you were asked by Luke to come into Tier 1. I was about to ask that question. Do you think you would take up that tier 1 seat next week in Brazil if you got offered? I'm guessing that answer is a yes now.
Most certainly, yes. There's no reason I shouldn't because there's no more tier 2.
Yeah.
Of course.
And it's in Brazil.
And it's in Brazil, so I have a little bit more of a practice and have my setups down. So I think if the chance arises, which I'm sure it will, considering this is the twilight of the game.
Well,
it'll be the day after the month before F122 gets released for the early release people that paid for the Champions Edition, like myself.
Oh
July
yeah, so you've already given it away. Have you already paid extra for the Championship Edition? Wow. Josh.
Yeah, can't wait 3 days. Nope.
No, I'm to be honest, I'm the same. The last few years I've paid £20 just to get 3 days early access. That was it really. Josh, any questions for our champion?
Well, Drake Dempsey, what a championship you've had. Obviously, I commentated over a few of your races this season. Zandvoort, I think, was one where you were fantastic as well. But champion, that's got to be a pretty amazing feeling for you. But what a drive you did as well. Some of the overtakes were fantastic. Moving on to the next game as well, on to next season, on season 13. Do you think you can try and keep it up again? Obviously, I think Tier 1 might be the next step for you. Do you think you'll be excited for that?
Definitely. I mean, I've been elated. I've been very excited for the new game, seeing what I've seen with the more realistic tracks, better handling model, better everything. Basically, I'm not gonna go ahead and go through a list because it would take forever. But yeah, but I'm very excited for it. I heard it was more understeer, which I like more stability in the car. So hopefully it works out. I know what I got to do. So Tier 1 to go, and this season beginning, my goal was to win a Tier 2 title. Although I wasn't certain I'd be able to, considering I hadn't raced many of the guys here that were here at the beginning of the season and some that stayed around, but it worked out for the best and did everything we could. Grew mentally throughout the season, learned a lot with patience and many other things. So all I could say is that season taught me a lot, and my goal is to take a step up to Tier 1 next season on the new game and do our best once again.
Absolutely. Well, massive congratulations to you and good luck for the next game.
Thank you.
Okay then, so we've spoken to all of our podium sitters and of course our champion as well. So we may as well wrap up proceedings here tonight. So thank you guys so much for watching this race and for the entire season. It's been absolutely incredible. We've had 15 rounds of non-stop action. We literally did not know which way it was going to go. But it ultimately came down to Drake Dempsey and Morgan Ball, and Drake Dempsey just took it really, really nicely indeed as well. Obviously, Josh, you were only commentating with me for a few races. Obviously, you commentated Luke around Mexico as well. But somehow how PC has been overall, because apart from obviously Tier 1, every other tier on PC and Xbox have come to an end. This is going to be the last race.
Yeah, it's been a really, really fun one from all the way. Obviously, Xbox was a really, really fun one for me on Tier 1, and obviously PC Tier 2 with the appearances I've made. It's been really, really fun as well. But got one more race to go next week at Brazil for Tier 1, and it's going to be a straight shootout. I believe it's 5 points between Longay and I can't remember who else. Luke's
written it down somewhere. Luke's written it down somewhere. Hold on, let me. It's a three-way battle for the Tier 1 Championship between Nicholas Longay, Tomek Paradzic and Alvaro Caraton going into the Championship finale next week.
Yeah, that's going to be a very, very tasty one indeed. Obviously, Nicholas will be definitely wanting to get that win as well. So will Tomek Paradzic. Really brought alive these past few rounds, hasn't he? He's been absolutely fantastic. I wasn't expecting him to be battling for the title midway through the season, but he's really put on a great show. And yeah, hopefully any one of these guys can win it. It'll be really, really interesting to see what happens. Obviously, Alvaro as well will be looking to try and get it. Anyone can really do it. I'll be definitely tuning in to that one, so it will definitely be a very, very interesting one. And yeah, it should be a very, very great race and a very, very great way to end season 12.
And make sure you do tune in to that as well. 7 PM UK time next week for the TC Tier 1 finale on WOR, the final WOR race on the F1 2021 game. I'd like to pass on my thanks to all the drivers who have taken part this season in PC Tier 2. Without the drivers, there would be no race. So thank you so much for putting on the show. Obviously, like I said just now, thank you to obviously our tier coordinators for Tier 2. That is obviously Jonah Martins and Jay. So thank you to the both of them. Also thank you to Black Panther for overseeing the tier coordination for all PC tiers this season. You've been incredible. Obviously thanks to Luke for doing all the behind the scenes stuff, making sure that us commentators are performing up to standard as well, and making sure we got the right graphics and everything we need for each week as well. Obviously we got PSR Bourbon as well for being the head of comms. Obviously he's been the one that's organised pretty much majority of the the commentary lineups for all three platforms. So without him, there'll be no commentary to go on the stream. So thank you very much to him. Obviously, we've had a few commentators that joined me this season. Obviously, we had Jish that's joined me obviously tonight, and Zanvor. I can't remember if you joined me for any more. I think you joined me for at least one more. But you joined Luke for Mexico, and obviously thank you to Luke Etheridge as well. I know he did Tier 1 tonight, but I have to give my special thanks to him for joining me for pretty much the entire season. He's been absolutely incredible to work alongside, and I've enjoyed working with him as well. Hopefully we'll get to work with him more in the future. Obviously thank you to you guys for watching the streams. Obviously without you, there wouldn't be any stream to watch out for. You've been supporting us very much. And also thank you to our sponsors, GridRival. You can still join the F1 2022 Fantasy League as well if you're interested. And also SimStaff as well, where you can get a discount for hiring some of our staff as well. And of course, thank you to all the stewards as well for pretty much making sure that everyone is following the rules and keeping an eye on the stewards report every week. So, from myself, Jessica Ball, and from Joshua Davis, and from obviously Luke Etheridge, who couldn't be here tonight, we will see you next season, Season 13, on the new F1 22 game on PC. Well, we don't know what tier I'll be in. Well, we're not sure what tier Josh will be in, but no matter what, we're still going to be here next season, no matter what. Have a good evening. We will see you next season for the F1 22 game. Goodbye.
On his debut, Jarno Opmeer wins at Spa.
It's Martinez in Montreal. David beats Goliath.
It's a true underdog story. John Evans wins at Mexico.
And it's Super Sam Corby who takes the PlayStation Championship.
FRA Ronhard takes his first WOR championship. He is your Xbox champion.
And Jake Benham is a two-time WOR champion.
Stop it! Around the outside operated line shadow is contact to get Ronha is around.
Melanie, surely it's going to win here at Abu Dhabi. He does.
15 races across 5 continents. From Brazil to Belgium and Bahrain to Britain. Soon this story starts. Across 3 platforms, hundreds will begin the quest. The quest in search of glory and the right to be called a WOR champion. Lights out, and we're racing in Season 12.